Let's see you beat that, Tobor. Holy cow, Tobor. That was super cool. Too bad you guys are gonna rise up and kill us all one day.
Robots. Yes, those robots. Humans love robots. Perfect for child rearing. Trusty sidekicks. Great for building nifty things, including other robots. Fun for just kicking around. And possibly the downfall of human civilization. But where did this word come from?
Robot. A mechanism guided by automatic control. Or the creepy-looking human-like objects that will one day rise up and take over the world. Either way, it's a word with a fairly short history. Only a few decades old. It's a toddler, really. Well, that's almost true. While its current technology-centric definition is pretty new, it's been lurking in the lexical landscape for quite some time. Let's roll back the clock over 2,000 years to discover its distant linguistic relative. Can you imagine what it must have been like then?
Our story begins on the southeastern coast of the Mediterranean Sea in northern Arabia. The time is year 1 of the Common Era.
Quintus, good to see you again.
Samir, likewise.
I have your order ready for pickup. Same as usual?
Yes, Samir. Brass, copper, and iron. And in exchange, casks of the best Roman wine.
And what about the tunics?
Of course, the latest designs.
Thank you, Quintus. Just in time for Fashion Week. And because you've been so good to us, I threw in some of that frankincense your wife loves so much.
Too generous. Thank you, Samir.
You know, Quintus, in all the years we've been trading, I realized I know so little about you.
Yes, quite true. And now that you mention it, I know just as little about you.
Well, it's been a tough life for me. I lost my parents when I was young.
Oh, I'm so sorry. How did they die?
My father was eaten by a wildebeest, and my mother died of an ingrown toenail.
We're like two peas in a pod. My father was murdered by a tribe of wild children, and my mother died of rabies, so I too am an Orbis.
What is this Orbis?
It's our word for children who have lost their parents. It literally means bereft. Do you not have this word? It's so useful. I speak it all the time.
Your word is so much more sympathetic than ours. We use this word, arba. It literally means weak child.
Oh, that's so sad.
So here we have Orbis and Arba. 2 words that don't really describe a child that has lost their parents, but as time goes on and trade continues between these 2 cultures, these 2 words begin to merge to form orb. And orb is actually where we get the word orphan, but that's a different story. These orb, like Orbis or Arba, were often taken in by land and business owners as workers, but typically weren't treated very well.
Listen, Orb, you're not working fast enough. The rain is coming and I need this field planted ASAP.
I'm working as fast as I can.
I know, I literally can see that, but it's my lot in life to work you harder.
Why?
We each have our own cross to bear. Why is the grass green? And why is the sky blue?
Chlorophyll and light diffracting through tiny air molecules. But why?
Because you have no parents, and because you're a burden, and you're very, very small.
I had parents, but they died. And I'm small because I'm literally a child.
Well, don't be a child and don't have dead parents, and get back to work. And you're all fired!
Will somebody please do something about all of this muck?
It's sad, I know, but regardless, orb is what they're now called. Our word orb moves from Latin-speaking Rome through Europe as the Roman Empire grows,
And into the wilds of Eastern Europe.
It swaps a few letters, moving from culture to culture as words often do. This change is from orb to orbu. No, don't follow me. Sheep hate snow. I told you this, and they have no creative vision. Forget it. I knew this was a terrible idea. Cue the map. As I was saying, it swaps a few letters as it moves from culture to culture, as words often do. This change is from orb to orbu. But in the 9th century, the Old Slavic Church made a strong push to unify its people under one language. Tasked with unifying the entire region were brothers Cyril and Methodius, two Christian missionaries from Greece.
Actually, they're from Bulgaria.
Okay, probably from Greece, who have been absolutely everywhere and are now mixing it up in the Slav tribes.
You know what really chaps my ass?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I hadn't even thought about him. But yeah, that does chap my ass, actually.
We need to
I
do something about the Slavic tribes. We need to teach them about the Bible.
Okay, Cyril. Well, elephant in the room, there's literally almost 36 languages floating around. How do we talk to them all?
Okay, Methodius. Well, solution. One language. The Old Slavic Church language.
Wouldn't it be the new Slavic Church language?
Well, eventually it will be the old one.
Wait, this is awesome. We're gonna be saints someday.
And so the transition to one unified language began with the creation of the now Old Church Slavonic language. And during that transition, our word orbu becomes rabu and changes its meaning from parentless child to servant. Yes, we had a unified language for about 300 years. But like my popularity after my stepdad made me wear my headgear to school, it all went to bits. Anyway, the Russians decided they wanted their own language, the Polish and the Serbians too. But as ideas about servitude change, so do the words associated with it.
Stop!
Yes?
We've run out of money for the scene.
What if we go black and white?
We can only afford white.
Do that.
Rob means indentured servant in Serbian, and that starts to forge other versions of the word. Robotiti is to work or drudge. Robotnik is a noun meaning forced worker. But it's this word rabota, ra-bota, change the O to an A, bota, yeah, there you go. Rabota, a verb meaning forced labor, that's really important.
So by the early 1900s, we have this word rabota floating around southern and eastern Europe, and it's used to describe indentured servants, or dudes who owe money but have no money, and they pay back the money they owe by being treated terribly. And as uninspiring as that sounds, one set of brothers found inspiration in it.
Playwright Karel Kopik has a masterpiece he's working on, but having some trouble putting the finishing touches on it. That's when his brother Joseph, also a writer, steps in.
Carol,
Joseph,
I came as soon as I got your letter.
did you read my play?
I totally just finished it.
Oh, what did you think?
It's insane, but a solid B+.
Almost an A.
It needs a little help.
Okay.
Okay, so these things, these labori,
Yes.
because they were made by humans to do grunt work, but they're not humans themselves.
Right. They're essentially machines. Also machines that do cool work, but they tire of their human masters and they realize they have all the power, so they rise up against the humans.
Awesome machines that do cool work, but realize they have all the power, so they rise up against the humans.
I just want to make a clear distinction that they're not, Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, you pretty much did that, but oh man, calling them labori is pretty laboring. Where's the excitement in that word? It's too literal, it's too pedestrian. They need a better name.
I've done a ton of research.
Luckily, I have an idea, okay? In one of my short stories, I use a word to describe serf labor like this, and when I read your play, I thought of it. In some places, they call indentured servants, wait for it, rabota. Okay, so what if we change labori to rabota? But then, what if we combine labori and rabota and make roboti? Ha! Yes, that just happened. Let it swim around in your brain.
And thus, Rossum's Universal Robots, the play, was born. The play did pretty well for a solid B+, but more importantly, found its way to the United States in 1922, where roboti was translated into robots in the English version. This is where Isaac Asimov saw the play, a solid C+. and where the word became what we now know as robot after he publishes his seminal short story collection, I, Robot,
forever changing the course of fiction and science. Or science fiction. I'd love to say that Asimov saw the play and it's that straightforward, but like most of history and language, that's not it. It'd be ignoring an important step in this word's story. First, there was Earl and Otto Binder, collectively known as Eondo Binder. Yep, that's right, yet another set of brothers. And they wrote a story also called I, Robot.
Actually, by this time, I'm no longer working with my brother.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, fine. Well, it was worth noting because it was great and pretty popular, but really was just a stepping stone to what's next. What? I said it was great.
I don't want to be here.
Well, as popular as their I, Robot. But as popular as their iRobot was, Earl, it really was Asimov's iRobot that changed everything.
It's this book's short story runaround where he uses the term robot for automaton-like beings that rockets the word into the upper echelon of popular culture. Hello? Hey, Mom. Working? 26 words. I think we're doing robot? I'm totally over the headgear disaster. I am okay with it. Oh, did I say disaster? Right, and I have straight teeth. Okay. I love you. And give my best to Jerry. Bye. Jerry's such a jerk. In the story, Asimov creates the 3 laws of robotics. 1. A robot may not injure a human being or, through inaction, allow a human being to come to harm. 2. A robot must obey the orders given it by human beings, except where such orders would conflict with the first law. And 3. A robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second laws. And as real scientists start to create real robots, they actually take these laws into consideration.
Wait, this thing is stronger than humans.
Ooh, best do something about that. Maybe we follow Asimov's laws of robotics?
Yeah, good thinking. Don't want them to rise up and kill everyone.
That'd be bad.
And our fault.
And that's pretty much where our word is now, but things move fast. Even now, the word has come to have multiple meanings. We use it to describe the animatronic beings in our film, television, and literature, and to describe the animatronic beings in our everyday lives, even though they're surprisingly different in form and function. The word robot continues to evolve. Thank you for joining me on our robot journey. I just realized that one day robots will take over the world, likely robot brothers, and the word robot will become offensive to our future mechanical overlords. So past me apologizes for future me's past use of this offensive slur.
Breaking down, your days getting longer. There's a yellow glass dragon who's chasing you around. Sit your head on a silver jet stream of the smoke is rising over your thoughts and your dreams. Watch out, you watch them fall down. Your nuts and bolts are all over the ground. You get out, you get out, you get out. Something's leaking, it leaks from your eyes while this tears by surprise. Stop wasting your words from around as you're running out of thoughts as your bird's burning out. Watch as it flows through your hands and whispers close as it whispers away.